Saunders. I highly do not recommend it for the NCLEX. Hey guys, I'm Quite Mike and I'm an RN. In my Aspiring Nurses series, I want to share my tips and my experiences to help you pass your NCLEX and to be able to make things a little bit easier for you. In this video, I want to talk about Saunders, which is a highly promoted book or material to help you pass your NCLEX. I would show you the book in hand, except that I actually took the time to throw it out. Whether you have the latest book or an older version, the content is still pretty juicy. I have to start off right off the bat and be honest and say that when I studied for my NCLEX, I believe I used a 2008 version. I forget, maybe it was like the 5th edition. And it seemed very much relevant. The nursing content was still pretty much good. But even when I was shown the latest content of the Saunders, I wasn't really into it either because it was just loaded. It was jam-packed. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about Saunders, my experience using Saunders, and how it did not prepare me for the NCLEX review. But before we say anything bad about the book or any cons of using the book for your NCLEX, let's say some good things. It's a great reference for everything you need or will learn in nursing school. It's a great book when it comes to nursing school because everything is right there, it's bulleted, it's heavy, it's meaty, and it's just what you need when you don't want to go over past handouts or when you don't even want to go back to your lectures and try to figure out, what did the teacher say about this again? It's a shame that I didn't see this book earlier on. Like, it would have been great maybe my first year, maybe second year of nursing school, and it would have been great for studying for tests because it was just a bullet point. Instead, I took time and honestly did not take time to go over notes because I was one of those called, what's that word again? Procrastinators. And yeah, I got a lot of handouts and I had a lot of notes and sometimes it just wouldn't be enough. And when you look at Saunders for nursing school, it's a great book. Just highlight, the things that you need to know. It's awesome. So again, one of those things that are really good about Saunders is that every chapter and concept is bulleted. It's nice, short, and easy to read. So when you go through it, when you need to study for a particular topic, and when you go through nursing school, you go by the topic as opposed to the NCLEX, which is random at any question. It's very good for you to have in nursing school. And the third thing that I do like about it is that it has good questions. When you want to reinforce the topics that are mentioned in each chapter, you have the questions to back it up. These questions, I believe, are geared to help you reinforce your topic, to reinforce what you learned in the certain concepts for that topic. So cardio, renal, gastro, all those systems. Okay, so the not so good things about Saunders. I'm going to be honest and let you know that when I was reviewing for my NCLEX the first time, I was using a Saunders book. But my mom was kind of a little cheap on it and got me a 2008 version. It was like the latest version that she could get before the latest one. As I was going through the book, I realized that these were the topics and these were the things that were being mentioned and were being taught to me in nursing school. So I was thinking, what much could change on the NCLEX? Or at least what could be the difference between this and the latest book? Probably technologies. And technologies aren't really going to be something that is going to be focused on in the NCLEX, as far as I knew, as far as I had experience, I think. Anyway, most important thing is nursing knowledge, and I believe Saunders had it all there. I failed though. Before I took my NCLEX the second time, I did see and look over, the latest version of Saunders, but it was still pretty much the same. Before I took my exam the second time, I actually got my hands on the latest version of the Saunders. Like, I was able to hold on to it and look at it and just borrow it, but it was still pretty much the same as the first Saunders that I had, the 2008 version, I believe it was. And my issues from the 2008 version carried on to the latest version, which was these reasons. Number one, it's information overload. When you're reviewing for nursing school, it's great to have a all-in-one reference for you to have and to be able to go back to at any moment. But when you're going to take your NCLEX, you just need a review. So if you were to take that huge book and compact it for your review, which probably is only going to be like a month or two as compared to your 4 years of nursing school, you really should be studying like this much as compared to this much. That's why when you go to take your NCLEX, you're going for a review. You're not going to nursing school part 2. Unless you're going back to nursing school for another 4 years. No, let's be realistic. Let's not take that big, thick book and let's just stick to some packets and some handouts, some, well-written notes. Let's just use that. When you open that big Saunders book, it's just like, oh my goodness, what else do I need to know? Everything on the page is important. Because in nursing school, I would highlight every single line on the page because I thought it was important. And, that was already a big book. How much more in Saunders? Everything is already jotted, well noted. You're gonna highlight everything on the same page too. You're gonna wind up highlighting everything on the page, and it's just like nursing school all over again. You need something lighter, you need something simpler. You don't need Saunders. The second thing that I don't like about Saunders is that it has a limited question bank. Yes, they're great. When I looked at those questions, they were great for helping me understand or to reinforce the topics that I was supposed to learn as I was reading through the chapters. But it's limited in the sense where it doesn't challenge my critical thinking. In the NCLEX, it's about critical thinking. To be able to look at the signs, the red flags, and to really judge, what's the safest option for my patient. Or, A plus B plus C equals, whatever, A, B, C, D. Yeah, I should be able to look at each scenario and be able to pick out what are the things I need to be concerned with, what are the answers that I don't need to be concerned with. And when you're going to take your NCLEX, or when you're going to review for your NCLEX, you should be preparing yourself in a certain way that towards the end of your review that's geared to randomness. Days or even weeks before you actually take your NCLEX, you should start taking comprehensive exams, and a bunch of them. So I do recommend things like UWorld or Lippincott, where they have like comprehensive tests, or like for UWorld you can pick out which topics, and I just choose all of them. For Lippincott, I just stick to the back of the book and use their comprehensive tests. You don't need to just study cardio, you don't need to study just urinary or renal or gastro or any of those topics. Focus them if you're weak on them and reinforce them if you're weak on them. But I don't necessarily think that just because you go through a Saunders book and you got a great score on the cardio portion of the questions or the part of the book that you're already good to go for cardio. Why don't you try a reference with critical thinking questions? UWorld or Lippincott is a good recommendation that I would give. See how well you do with that. Let me know how much of a hotshot you are now. If you think that the Saunders questions equates to the NCLEX questions, you may be in for a surprise. And again, I may be wrong because I haven't really gone into depth with the latest Saunders. And maybe the newest Saunders that's out now may be a lot better than what I say, but still, no matter what Saunders it is, I'm going to stick to the reasons that I have here, and I think it's just too much. So in conclusion, I think Saunders is a great book, for fun facts. But overall, I think Saunders is a great book if you're in nursing school. And it's also a good quick reference if you just need to go back really quick and try to understand the topic, fine. But if you're going to go through the whole entire book right after nursing school just so you can pass the NCLEX, you're going to give yourself a headache. This is where the NCLEX, review becomes a hassle, because you should go through this entire book in how many months or a year just to pass your NCLEX. You don't need a thick Saunders book to pass your NCLEX. If you're going to use the Saunders book, pick parts of it, but not all of it. So how about you? Have you used Saunders for NCLEX reference, or have you used it to pass your NCLEX? Did it work for you? Did it not? What do you think? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. So with all that said, continue to rest best, study well, and pray the most. God bless.